Hey, it's your boy, B Hood, Pastor of Full Impact Ministries. I'm coming with part 3 and the final part of the truth about first fruit offerings. And I've given you some powerful stuff in part 1 and part 2. And I've given you all those scriptures that you need to go ahead and check out and get in the Word and check them out for yourself so that you can get the truth for yourself. Now I'm going right into Jeremiah chapter 2. Jeremiah chapter 2, because this stuff here is a ploy of Satan to get your finances. This stuff is a ploy of Satan to get your finances, just like tithing and all the rest of that stuff. I mean, they got all kind of stuff going on. They got debt cancellation offerings and stuff that ain't even in the Bible. They got Jubilee offerings and I mean all kind of stuff. All kind of balance offerings and order offering. I mean all kind of crazy mess. You can't find nowhere in the scriptures. And what's amazing is that the saints falling for it. I mean falling for that foolishness and pouring their money to these folks. Sending these folks on trips across Africa because all the preachers think that once they go to Africa that they done made it as far as pastoralship, or you done made it, and you paying for these trips, first class trips, over $10,000 for these jokers to go over here and talking about all the miracles and wonders that's going on. But you back here struggling. And you giving your hard-earned money for somebody else to go on a vacation, really. An expensive one. And you can barely go to Chuck E. Cheese. The devil is a lie. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thy espousals, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits, Lord, have mercy, of his increase. All that devour him shall offend, evil shall come upon them, saith the Lord. Israel, God's chosen people, was his first fruits in that area. Everything I'm reading you has nothing to do with what these preachers are telling you today. Everything I'm telling you has nothing to do with what these preachers are telling you today. You can't find that stuff nowhere in the scriptures when they telling you to give all your money for a first fruit offering and God gonna bless it. That is not in the Bible. That is a trick of Satan. See, and Satan know that if he can keep the finances out of the saints' hand, that he got a battle won. Because, see, God and Satan both know that it's going to take finances to move their kingdom forward on this planet, what we call Earth. It's going to take finances and an abundance of it. This is why Satan attacks the finances like never before. And he does it through the pulpit, through these greedy, rotten, low-down preachers who are being used by Satan. They are being used by their father, the devil. Yes. And that first fruit offering is a scam. Let's go to Romans chapter 8, the New Testament. Romans chapter 8. All I'm doing is just giving you the Bible. All I'm doing is giving you the scriptures. Romans chapter 8, verse 22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have, watch this, the first fruits of the Spirit, big S. Even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption to wit, the redemption of our body. That's the Bible. It says, we ourselves, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, of Jesus, the Spirit, we are the first partakers of it. Saying nothing about money. Nothing about money. Nothing. Okay, let's go over here to Acts chapter 26. Let's go to Acts chapter 26. Just giving you the Bible real quick. Acts chapter 26, starting at verse 22. And this is Apostle Paul speaking to King Agrippa. Having therefore obtained help of God, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. Now watch what they say should come. Watch this here. That Christ should suffer, and that he should be the first that should rise from the dead, and should show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. Paul was showing King Agrippa that Christ is the first. Christ is the first fruit. Christ is the first of everything. Christ is the firstborn. Christ is the first raised from the dead. Christ is the first. Christ is the first fruit. Not your money that you giving to some preacher. That's deception. That's robbery. And you preachers that's doing that stuff, you're going to be held accountable for that foolishness. You're going to be held accountable for that foolishness. That first fruit offering stunt, what y'all pulling, is ungodly, and you being used by Satan. Yes, and I'm talking to all you preachers that are doing that stuff on this first fruit offering. You being used by Satan. I'm going to go to Exodus. Exodus chapter 34. I'm just in the Bible. Verse 26, 27. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring unto the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. This stuff was given for commandments, laws, ordinances to the children of Israel. It had nothing to do with anybody else. These laws were given to the children of Israel because this is the way that the Levites and the priests were to live. And when he said that he will open up a window of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you would not have room enough to receive, he was talking to the priests, not the children of Israel. And he was telling the priests that because they was the ones robbing God. The children of Israel couldn't do it because they could not offer it into God. They couldn't go in the tabernacle to offer anything to God. Only the priest could. People, when you start studying your Bible, you'll stop being deceived by these rotten, greedy preachers. And there's some powerful pastors out here that love people. I'm one of them. And then when you get pastors like me that come against that foolishness, you have people in congregations want to come up against people like me. But you will sit up there and allow your rotten, greedy pastor to deceive you out of all your financial wealth, and then you want to go crying to God to my bless you. And God is saying, I've already blessed you. You giving it to that crook that I did not ordain to be up there on that podium anyway. His assignment been over with. And you sitting up under that foolishness, and Jesus said like you putting your money in a bag full of holes. And I'm giving you truth from the scriptures. From the scriptures. And I'm telling you, you take them scriptures down. You mark them. You see what they are. You study them. You read them. You research them. You ask God to show you clarity. You ask the Holy Ghost to show you clarity. You ask him to show you what's in those scriptures. And one thing I've learned about doing that, when you do that, he'll go to connecting other scriptures to you because he connects the dots. And he brings clarity to where you will see, to where you won't have to struggle to study. Because it'll be a flow to you. Because he wants you to prosper. He does not want you to be ignorant of who he is. That's those greedy, rotten pastors doing that to you. Then you want to come to people like me and tell me to pray for your finances. And I'm trying to help you. Let me take you over here to Revelations. The last one, I'm going to go to Revelations, chapter 14. You probably didn't know it was in Revelation, did you? I know you didn't. I know you didn't. You probably didn't even know it was in Revelation. Revelation chapter 14. And this has to do with the 144,000 that the Muslims always talking about that they going to holler at. Revelation chapter 14. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Now the 144,000, those were the 12 tribes of Israel, where all of Joseph's sons, he had 12 sons, and they had 12,000 per tribe, and that was 144,000. And those are the tribes that are in heaven as far as the book of Revelation, and that is the first fruit of that issue in heaven. You don't see nowhere in the scriptures and talk about money. It ain't in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. People, I've given you so many scriptures till it's ridiculous. I've given you Proverbs chapter 3, verse 9 and 10, Nehemiah chapter 10, verses 32 through 37, Ezekiel chapter 44, verses 28 through 30, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 10 through 14, 2 Chronicles chapter 31, verses 4 through 6, Deuteronomy chapter 26, verses 2 through 4, Numbers chapter 18, verses 12 to 13, Jeremiah chapter 2, verses 1 through 3, Exodus chapter 34, verses 26 through 27. Those are the Old Testament. The New Testament, I've given you Revelation chapter 14, verses 1 through 5, James chapter 1, verse 17 through 18, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 20 through 23, Romans chapter 8, verse 22 to 23, Romans chapter 11, verse 16 through 21, Acts chapter 26, verse 22 to 23, and Galatians chapter 3, verse 11 to 12, Romans chapter 3, verse 1 to 3, Hebrews chapter 8, verse 3 through 5. I've given you all them scriptures. You need to study them. Get it for yourself. I just given you everything about the truth about first fruit offerings. This your boy, Ehud, and I'm out. Peace.